Hello students, welcome once again. Today we begin new chapter of civics, chapter number 2, Preamble to the Constitution. In the previous lecture we studied the Constitution is an important document clarifying the rules of administration. We also learned that the Constituent Assembly made the Constitution of India. Our representatives have to carry out the administration as per the law laid down by the Constitution. Dear students, in this chapter we are going to learn what is preamble and the nature of the Indian state. Let us start. What is the study, the nature of the Indian state. A constitution is the fundamental and the highest law of the land. There are definite aims or purposes in making any law. Basic provisions in the law are made after clarifying these objectives. A systematic arrangement of all the aims and objectives of a law is the preface to the law. Dear students, this preface to the Indian Constitution is called the preamble. The preamble sets out the objectives of our Constitution. Dear students, what is preamble? Preamble means the preface to the Indian Constitution is called the preamble. Now, the preamble sets out the objectives of our Constitution. Now, let us study the nature of the Indian state. We all are Indian citizens. The preamble tells us what we all have to achieve as a people. The values, thoughts, and ideas in it are noble. The entire Constitution lays down the provisions through which these goals are to be realized. The preamble begins with the words, "We, the people of India." It talks about the resolve of the Indians to constitute India in a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. My dear students, here sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic are the nature of the Indian state. Now we shall learn the meaning of each of these terms. First, let's see the meaning of sovereign state. What is sovereign state? India was ruled by Britain for a long period. The British rule ended on 15th of August 1947. Our country became independent. India became sovereign. We are now free to take decisions as we think fit in our own country. Dear students, here British came to India. They ruled over us for a long period. During that period, people couldn't take decisions their own, they were not free. Now today we are free. We have right to take decisions as we think. We are free to go anywhere. So the word sovereign means that a state is not under a control of a foreign power. Dear students, do you understand the meaning of the word sovereign? Remember, the sovereign means that a state is not under the control of a foreign power. The most important goal of our freedom struggle was to acquire sovereignty. Now, sovereignty means the ultimate authority to govern yourself, or a state that is self-governing. In a democracy, sovereignty rests with the people. The people elect their representatives and grant them the permission to exercise sovereign authority on their behalf. Thus, the Constitution reflects the principle of popular sovereignty and the government elected by the people. My dear students, the important aim of our freedom struggle was to get sovereignty. And we know that now sovereignty means the ultimate authority to govern yourself, or a state that is self-governing. Now, let's see the second socialist state. A socialist state is such a state where the gap between the rich and the poor is minimum. A socialist state is such a state where the gap between the rich and the poor is minimum. All have a right over the wealth of the country. It is ensured that wealth is not concentrated in the hands of a few people. Dear students, here socialist state is such a state where the gap between the income and the wealth of the rich and the poor is minimum. The wealth or the resources of the country are owned by everyone, means that is society. It ensures that the concentration of wealth does not take place in the hands of a few people. Now let's see the next nature of the Indian state, that is secular state. The preamble states secularism as one of our goals. In a secular state, all religions are considered as equal. No one religion is considered to be the state religion. The citizens are free to follow their own religion. State cannot discriminate among citizens on the basis of religion. Dear students, the provisions in a secular state are: there is no official religion of the state. The citizens are given the freedom to follow their own religion, and the state does not discriminate between the citizens on the basis of religion, and these are the provisions in a secular state. Dear students, remaining objectives are the nature of the Indian state, such as democratic state and republic state, we will learn in our next video. Dear students, read the lesson carefully. Before conclude the lesson, it is our duty to understood one of the most important part, that is, do you know? Let's see. We have endeavored to preserve the multi-religious nature of our society. We cannot exercise the rights given to us by our constitution in an unrestrained manner. The same is true of religious freedom as well. Whenever we celebrate our festivals, we are required to be concerned about public cleanliness, health, and the environment. Dear students, we have to concentrate about public cleanliness, health, and the environment. Means we have to take care of our health as well as others. So, dear students, I hope you understood the chapter, means the part of this chapter. So, read the lesson carefully and learn the meanings of the terms which we learnt today. Thank you and have a nice day.